This Canadian father wanted to move his entire business and family to the United States. He approached us last year, we prepared everything, and we just got him the visa last month. He only invested $100,000 and he only spent $30,000 on his business, and yet he got it approved. And I'm going to talk about why. Let's go. Hi everyone, my name is Joseph. I'm the managing partner here at Tsang and Associates, where we solve legal problems with creative solutions. So this is the entire E-2 applications, the attorney brief, and all the supporting documents. This is a complicated case because he didn't want to spend a lot of money. He was scared, and the stuff that he did spend it on, $30,000, not a lot of money, was just on his own goods. We're planning out the visa process. Should we do E1 or should we do E2? Because it's import-export, E1 is made for import-export. So if we're deviating away from import-export and we have to hit the E2, it makes it so much harder. But here is why we didn't end up choosing it. He is a Canadian. The E1 treaty is meant for importing, exporting above 50% of your business from that treaty country. He should be getting it from Canada. But his business is not importing from Canada. His business is importing from China to Canada to the US, or China directly to the US. It's a gray area, and from all of our research, it's just a risk of denial. E2, you have to set up the business, you have to prove you're gonna make enough money so it's not marginal, you have to prove that the business is active and real, you actually invested the money, you actually spent it. So ultimately, we went through all of the E2, we thought there was a fighting chance, so we prepared everything, and then in April, they went to the Toronto embassy, and it got approved, and without a request for evidence, without admin processing, everything is smooth, and they are now in the process of moving everything to the US. Let's go through the brief together. The first page is, of course, just explaining what the US business is, how he is a 100% owner, how he invested $100,000, and how he will serve as the CEO, managing projects and objectives, and the revenue is projected to be high, and how they already hired 1 employee, they're planning on hiring 5 more, and then eventually they'll get to 12. The way they invested was $2,000 first, then 20 more thousand, then 70 more thousand, etc., just in chunks. But it was all documented, and we proved that the source of fund was clean. If you're applying for a treaty trader visa, you need to prove that the money is legitimate. He's a 50-year-old man with a long history of work, a lot of tax returns. Proving his 100,000 is real and legitimate is not a problem. Here is the part where it gets difficult. The commercial enterprise is real and active. The investment is sufficient, is substantial, and it's marginal, right? So those 3 things are the most challenging areas. How do you prove the company is real? It's starting from scratch, 0. Website, lease agreement, office warehouse, service invoices, trade shows, communications with clients and future clients, promotions. Then the next part, that the investment is substantial. That's a hard argument to make. Why is $100,000 enough to kickstart this business? One remodeling could be $200,000. Let alone how to get this. I mean, substantial it's not the absolute term, like, oh, substantial amount of money. It means enough to get the business to run to the point where it could be not marginal, right? You are going to make enough money. You're not just running a shop that pays yourself a salary. Import-export business. Is $100,000 a lot? Depends on what you're selling. The thing that we leaned on for all of these, real and operating, substantial investment, more than marginal, is the fact that this guy, 50 plus years old, he's been doing it. He has a big resume. He knows how to do it. He's been doing it for a long time. He has an operation. This is not a college kid that is just graduated and about to start. We have other videos about how we help college kids to do it. This guy he's well seasoned. So 100,000 is enough for him because he has all the connections. He has all the supplies. He is able to hit the ground running. He's in a very niche market. People need him, so he's able to immediately do it. We prepared a really good business plan. We put everything together, filed it, and the case was approved. Next part, we talk about his supervisory role, his intent to depart, but those are pretty easy, right? Of course he's a CEO, right? He's been CEO for decades. He's not gonna go and be the warehouse worker for his own company. So he invested in a company, he's a CEO. Now, the key takeaway from this case is actually your background serve as your source of fund and your investment, right? I mean, he only invested 100,000 and then spent only 30,000. But we were able to lean on the fact that he has so much experience and he already has inventory and he has the connection, and therefore he doesn't need to invest as much or spend as much. That means his resume is worth money. If you have any questions about E2, feel free to reach out. Take care. Bye-bye.